TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop, come on, take me higher. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff, actually the co-host, I apologize, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors. And it's that time of the week, thank God. Let's see if this is the ticket. Nope. Yeah, it's that time of the day. It's that time of the week. Closing bell, Friday, August 23rd. It's been a long, long week, a long, long day. And whether we were starting 11 o'clock, actually, 2 interviews early this morning. So let's start there. 11 o'clock with Andrew McGinnis at Wager Talk. There we go, Wager Talk TV. 12:45, the one and only Sean Alvarez, and shout out there. There were just in this spot alone, well over 300 people live watching him break down the Travis and another race at Saratoga. Then the return of Matt Grissom, NCAA Insiders, live from the Circa on Radio Row there for contest week, as we got caught up with Matt talking SEC and the rest of college football, which kicks off officially tomorrow. And I tell you, I gave out 2 plays on the show, and I'm not tapping myself on the you-know-what, but we moved some numbers. I gave out Florida State first half, -6.5, 10-point favorites, and 6.5 at half. So if you want to jump on Florida State -6.5 first half, please do that. And then the real power move, we gave out SMU -14. It was 13.5, some 14, first half against Nevada. It's now 15.5 everywhere. And at Circa, where we gave it out, it's now 16.5. So people are listening, definitely. If you can get a 15.5 at your shop, go get SMU -15.5 right now. First half there. If you're betting Circa, it's going to be 16.5. But anyways, shout out to our proud sponsors with an S and partnerships. WagerWire, if you haven't downloaded the app, please run over to Google Play, download it. I guarantee you it will be the most used app the rest of this year and into 2025. Zach and Travis in Myrtle Beach and ACC Country Golf. Guys, have a great day. Enjoy the community. Is second to none. Always watching our shows. We can't thank you enough for all the love and support there. Viva Tequila Seltzer. Try their new product and brand called Flavor. Jesus, the tongue's having a hard time here. Coconut. We're cuckoo for coconut there. CT Betts and the rest of that team and family. We're blessed to be a part of something for a long, long time. And our new sponsor, Terry Smith, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. Go on over, follow him on Twitter. Head on over to Facebook, check out the website. Reach out to Terry on Facebook, Terry Smith, tell him JD from ECSI sent you. We're going to have Terry on once a week talking some Georgia Bulldogs, some Atlanta baseball, some Atlanta Falcons, whatever Atlanta he wants to talk to, we're going to talk about. So without further ado, my co-host, Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, champ?
What is up, my friend? Happy Friday. Apologies to everyone for the delay. That is 100% on me for the closing bell here. But ready to roll to end the week, my friend. As you said, we've got week 0 getting kicked off tomorrow. So obviously always pretty juiced up, even with the light slate. Dips our toe into the water a little. We usually have a little bit of fireworks on that first week 0 Saturday. I know. Depending on what your level of fireworks are, I'm thinking of that Ireland, Nebraska, Northwestern game where we look like, I know I'm bringing that up, a sore subject for you, and then Northwestern, I think, loses the next 11 games or 10, 11
they
games,
did.
whatever.
They did.
So, who's to say what we have tomorrow? So I'm excited to see what transpires and watch the few games, and obviously a halfway decent ACC game to kick it off. So. Ready to roll for that. Obviously got MLB tonight. We've got some golf that's been rolling along that we can give some updates for. But nonetheless, I'm ready to close out the week, my friend.
Well, Pat McAfee did land in Ireland. There's shots everywhere on social media. He is shit-faced. I guess he took a 100-milligram edible, and he's chugging Guinness Stout. So if you catch any of their videos, let's just say ESPN and Game Day eyes are rolling right now. But Pat is safe. Well, safe for now. So we'll see what happens tonight.
No, and I'm glad that they still kind of keep going with this new tradition of kicking it off there, because it is a fun way to grow the game and obviously get a little change of scenery. And if it was the biggest game of the year, then it might be a little weird. But to have that overseas like that, but obviously a team like Florida State is a loss tomorrow would shake up their plans for the season. So I'm not saying that's happening by any means, but you never know what happens when you get a football game overseas, my friend. Anything can happen.
Yeah, well, 13.5 now down to 10.5. Again, you talked about Nebraska, who was rolling that game, and then Nebraska's defense stayed in at halftime. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. And you had that couple days prior, when you did your Big Ten breakdown, which we will do next week, by the way, hint, hint. You talked about you liked Northwestern, and they won that game as like double-digit underdogs, and 9-10-point underdogs. And I'm like, oh my God, Riley's on to something. And then they couldn't find another win. I think they stole one like late at the end of the year.
I want to look it up because I that sounds familiar, but either way, it was not pretty. And my theory was more, and it was still Pat Fitzgerald. Even in some of their bad years, they ebb and flow, and they bounce back off of bad years. And obviously, they did not end up having a good year that year. But like you said, we will save some Big Ten preview for next week because it is going to be a fun one there. It ended up being a 1-11 season, so they rattled off 11 straight losses. Right on that one there. So, but they bounced back with 8-5 last year. So I was a year early on the bounce back. So they ended up okay last year.
Shout out to Mr. Berry, Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Always a pleasure to have you here on board. We'll just do some quick highlights here. Kind of comical in golf. No one had the Keegan Bradley on their free bingo square on Thursday, and then Adam Scott says, "Hold my beer," and Hideki being Hideki withdraws with back issues.
Yeah, I was just trying to pull up the leaderboard there because there are a few guys still going here, and it's an interesting leaderboard. It's a lot of guys that have not been fantastic this season, and obviously we talked about Hideki so much this year, and having last week as the chance to kind of turn things around. But obviously, like you said, that weekend for him ends early, and now we're back kind of at square one with him as far as some of these health issues are concerned. So. You got Adam Scott, who obviously has been a roller coaster of the last couple of seasons. Keegan Bradley, same thing. But Ludwig trying to make a push for someone who was fantastic earlier this season and then had a little bit of a lull where he wasn't, at least not as much in contention in some of these big tournaments. if he can, either win this tournament or even top 5, that springboards him into potential contender status for the Tour Championship next week. So that is one guy to watch. I know Siwoo is playing well, but Sung Jae Im, a guy that is still finishing up on 18, a guy that if he gets going, I mean, there's so many guys that if they're in form and popping up out of nowhere in form for these last couple of weeks, who knows what could happen if anyone wins this one and catapults themselves into a great standing for next week, and then is only a few shots off the lead to try and make something crazy happen next week, my friend.
UFC in the Apex is, I was going to say Captain Lou Albano, shame on me, Mr. Lou himself, Lou Finicaro on Thursday. 3 o'clock here. Has next weekend off. Then we got 2 weeks with him leading up to Noche in Vegas at the Sphere. At the Apex Las Vegas 96, I think they're calling it. Any thoughts? Anything pique your interest over there?
It's honestly, there's a couple of fights that are interesting to me. A lot of guys that have had some great stretches that are now fighting some kind of new faces that we aren't as haven't been as marketable and not as familiar faces. I mean, the main event itself, you've got a guy who has fought some really, really solid fights, is 16-1, Baralho. But as far as the casual fan, not a lot of people are probably pretty aware of this fighter here, and he's coming in as minus 265 or in that ballpark, favored against Jared Cannonier, who people are pretty well aware of and have seen him fight a handful of decent times, whether it be, kind of a guy who typically does headline a lot of these fight nights. So it's a guy that people have seen a lot of, and yet he's coming in as a pretty decent dog here. He doesn't have a ton of recent fights win by KO. So I think the line is pretty straightforward and solid there. I mean, Cannonier, as much as, you don't think you've seen him fight that many times, he's already 40 years old. So Angela Hill against Tabitha Ricci is another interesting one. Angela Hill is a short dog out of that fight there. She has a couple of nice wins in a row now, and it's really more of a live dog that I think people are giving her credit for. So I'm interested in seeing what Angela Hill does. But whoever wins that fight between those two, Angela Hill and Tabitha Ricci, I mean, Angela Hill kind of playing that gatekeeper role for that women's strawweight division there. So that is one I'm going to be watching for, but hopefully we get some fireworks. It's not one that's moving the needle as far as the names are concerned, my friend. So we need some actual fireworks here and some highlight reel fights that you and I have been talking about. It picked up in the right direction last week. Still not a drop everything and watch all the clips from this past weekend necessarily, but if we can get a good highlight reel or two, then that'll really springboard us heading into that fight at the Spear, which I know I've talked about already, but I am excited to see what goes on with that one.
NFL, not a lot to talk about. What I will say is I was shocked. I've done probably 20 drafts. I got another one coming up tonight. Starting next Wednesday, I'll be drafting for 8 straight days in the high-stakes leagues. A big Jahan Dotson fan. Expected big things for him. New quarterback with Jaden Daniels, new head coach, new OC. I was expecting a lot. They lose Antonio Gibson to the Patriots, Curtis Samuel to the Bills now with turf toe, Logan Thomas to the 49ers, cut back to the 49ers. I wake up and he goes to, not only gets traded within the division for a 5th-round pick, and then I saw a tweet before we went live here. I guess he was being a pain in the ass. I knew there had to be something in the locker room. I guess he was very negative to their new names, just put us back to the Redskins. He was acting like a real puke and a punk. But then speculation was this was clearing the way for Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he played with Jaden Daniels for 1 year at Arizona State. It makes a lot of sense. I'll just tell anyone drafting this weekend, buyer beware. CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk. To just get all lathered up, let's just say next week and get ready for week 1, there's a lot of muscle tears. There's a lot of not ready for prime time and game time. Get ready, get in a hurry to get back because you didn't do OTAs. You sure didn't play in the preseason. You're just sitting out being a puke wanting more money. Okay, and I had Justin Jefferson last year that pulled a hamstring and saw that his damn bye week was in week 11 and took him 8 weeks and says, I'll be back after the bye week because he wanted to get paid.
Right.
Thoughts on Ayuk to Washington, or is this just a done deal and he's going to go back to the 49ers?
I don't think it's a done deal. I think as we've talked about, that's a great option for him to go to, and it's just tough when you know the guy is hell bent on getting out of there, because then it's tough to everyone knows that they don't have to overpay to get him because he wants out of there anyways. And in a case like his where he's not a bona fide star receiver and yet he's asking for tons of money, it's a tough situation to put a package together that can warrant that type of trade there. So at the end of the day, I mean, would it surprise me if he's not traded by week 1? No, but I think they're going to work hard on getting a trade for him, and I do like Washington as that option there. But I guess at the end of the day, I wouldn't say it's a done deal, but it is a great chance that he is still with the 49ers here this season.
They got a 5th-round pick, and I know, like the Patriots, Pittsburgh was supposedly the landing spot. Pittsburgh's going to be 9-8, 8-9, so they're in the middle of the pack. So a first-rounder doesn't really matter. But when you're the Patriots, when you're Washington, you're not going to give up next year's first-round pick because you could be in the top. You could be the first pick, or you could be anywhere top 1 to top 5. If I'm Washington and I really, really, really am desperate, and I want Ayuk on one side and I want McLaren on the other, like the Bears, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, they bring in Keenan Allen, they draft Odunze. So my point is, give them the 5th that you just got from Philly, give them next year's 2nd, which will be an early pick in the 2nd round, and if they're hell-bent and you're hell-bent, give them the following year's 1st year and get it done.
No, I'm with you. I especially for some of these teams. I mean, New England's obviously got a lot of holes to shore up here, and I mean, we'll learn a lot about what the new regime is going to look like and how successful they'll be there if we're talking New England. But Washington, I mean, with Jaden Daniels, you've obviously got a couple of nice options there. But look at. Chicago is losing their minds about the opportunities that Caleb Williams has because of all the weapons and the protection that he's going to have. You gave something similar for Jaden Daniels, and it's hard to. We're in an age where in 4 years, if it's time for him to sign his next extension, and Washington hasn't done anything to go aggressive and go all out, those narratives are going to swirl. And again, in a lot of cases, I roll my eyes at those types of narratives because at the end of the day, the guy comes back and he signs his big money check, but fan bases we're at a time period where you have to make the fan bases happy to quiet them down sometimes and make it a big deal like that. So I'm with you. Whether it happens or not, I mean, we're getting close to the bell here for the season. So it is obviously the clock is ticking, my friend.
One Packer question before we go to baseball. I'm drafting, I think, tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm waiting it to fill up. It should fill up. Tight end position.
I knew that's where you were going.
Musgrove, he's the one, but I heard Kraft is having an amazing last week here. I've read all along it's they're not going to be running 2 tight end sets. They have so many good wide receivers when healthy. We know that. My question is it Musgrove or is Kraft neck and neck with him, and will they run 2 tight end sets?
I would like to see them do more two tight end sets because these. And the interesting thing from last year was that they weren't really. I mean, Tucker Kraft didn't come on the scene until later in the season when Musgrave was hurt, and so we didn't really see them. We saw Musgrave a lot the first half of the season. Didn't really give Kraft much of an opportunity. Then Musgrave goes down. Kraft comes in and looks really, really solid in both the blocking and not really a deep threat option, but a nice short route, mid-level route tight end. And so it's tough because Kraft was out for a decent chunk of training camp, and so we didn't see much of him for the majority of the time. Now we're starting to see him a little bit. So I would like them to do more 2 tight end sets, but like you said, they've got 4 for sure wide receivers that they love, given that their health, and then a couple guys in Malik Heath and Bo Melton, 5 and 6 that they also like. If anyone goes down, they've plugged and played them in last year's case and probably will again this year. So it's hard to keep all of these receivers off the field too. So I would like them to mix it up and do two tight end sets. But again, for fantasy purposes, I'm almost leaning towards Musgrave just because he has that downfield threat. He is a much better route runner and has that capability of that big chunk play tight end case. But in my opinion, it's going to be real tough to find some consistencies. I mean, you're going to have – it's almost like, you're going to have one of them have a great week one week, and then the other one the next week it's going to be the other guy. It's going to be hard to keep them both off the field, so I would love to see them do two tight end sets. I would love to tell you that I think both of them are going to be productive, but at the end of it, if one of them goes down and you're only looking at one guy, then I think either one of them is a fantastic option, a borderline top 10 guy. But, if both of them are healthy and they're trying to find ways to get them both on the field, I do still like Musgrave as far as having some, production, like I said there. But it's going to be tough. I think you're going to have some dud weeks out of both of them to where it's going to be frustrating, to where 1 week you get a 12-point week, 60 yards and a touchdown, something like that, and then the next week it's 2 catches for 12 yards, something like that. So it is going to be tricky, but at the end of the day, I think they're both good options to stash if you have that capability. Because like I said, I have one of them in my dynasty league, because if one of them goes down, then I've got a great option in my opinion there, where you're running that option, because the tight end numbers, with one of them healthy, were not bad last year. So I'm a little torn, and long term, I think Musgrave is going to be a good receiving option, but it's going to be tough sledding. I think you're going to be disappointed more half the time, half the weeks that you have them. You're going to be disappointed with some of the production there.
Any update on Marshawn Lloyd's hammy?
I don't have too much of an update. I think right now he's still listed as questionable for week 1. So it wouldn't surprise me, especially with A.J. Dillon, that they kind of walk him along a little bit and don't rush him back. I don't think they're going to there, and obviously we've had some hamstring issues with guys in the past. So I would be surprised if he's ready to go week 1 there. So I think you're going to see a lot of A.J. Dillon in the 2 spot in week 1, and then we'll see after that. And you get another guy, Emmanuel Wilson, that they like I was talking about early in the week there. So not holding my breath for week 1 there. And then kick. The other negative that I got is the kicking situation. Sounds like a real question mark still for Packerland there. I know you've got Anders Carlson, who you drafted, and obviously had a rough missed kick in the playoffs against the Niners. They've been bringing other guys for competition, so I'm a little concerned about what we're hearing out of kicker land in Green Bay, my friend.
Well, you can't. It's hard to replace a legend like Mason Crosby. So
I saw one story where it was like, do we give Mason Crosby a call, bring him back in? I mean, shoot, it wouldn't be a crazy thing. It wouldn't be unpacker-like for them to give Mason Crosby a call, honestly.
And the trip to Brazil, again, it makes all the sense in the world. Why rush Marshawn when you get an extra 9 days? Hey, you can come take the trip. You can suit up and sit on the sidelines, enjoy Brazil, and then, we'll take a look for you the following Sunday. Yeah,
I do think that is what – I mean, you might even see him rest a little more than that, depending on what A.J. Dillon looked. I mean, if A.J. Dillon looks great in the 2 spot in week 1 and, Marshawn Lloyd is still questionable, then you might – see him string along a little bit further there. But, no, I'm with you. I think it would be surprising to see him suit up in week 1.
Before we get to baseball, a couple NFL games, a couple quirkinesses I will talk about for anyone interested. I think the 49ers, the biggest move in the history of mankind, they went from plus 3.5 at Vegas to minus 9. So I guess Vegas is sitting everyone. San Fran's playing everyone. So, again, what I would take a look at is Las Vegas team total under the 10.5, or if you need to scratch an itch, San Fran minus the 8.5, 9 if you want a beer and pizza money there. One team total that hits the system, Jacksonville Jaguars over 21.5. They are at Atlanta, so that's the NFL X for tonight. Again, beer and pizza. It's Friday night, guys. It's Fade the Public Friday. Don't be the pizza man. I don't need to go into the story. The MLB board is yours, sir.
So I was going to say, we don't need to spend too much time here. I know we don't have a ton of time here, but obviously we got Friday night action to talk about here. There was a couple games that I was wondering if you would agree with me if we've got a couple of stenches here. on the board, my friend. First one is in Miami. Cubs in Miami here. Cubs 63-65. So still kind of treading water a little bit, trying to claw their way back in the picture. But they are in Miami as minus 125 favorites against this Miami team who has not been. I mean, the Cubs have been going back and forth. So, I mean, if they stick to that, then, that would make all the sense in the world. But Miami coming off of a home sweep to Arizona here this week. Their offense did put up a couple of nice offensive performances in two of those games there, but pitching-wise was not fantastic. You've got another reason it was surprising me. You've got Max Meyer on the mound for this Marlins team. Each of his last 4 starts, 4 earned runs or higher, and yet this Cubs team is only minus 125. You've got Kyle Hendricks on the mound, who obviously has had a roller coaster of a season and has looked a lot better these last 2. So. Are we in for a Kyle Hendricks regression start here and a crooked number from Miami, or is this just I'm putting too much love on the Cubs here?
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my neck here. So here's how I say this. You are spot on the stench. Cy Hendricks got us last time out. So if you like the Marlins tonight, you can play the Marlins. Plus the blah, 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 where am I here? Full game is plus 107 currently at the Circa. I'm a little leery of their back end there, so if you want to play them first 5, I'm also comfortable with that. You can play their team total over 3.5. The problem is you got to pay a little juice there, minus 25 cents. If you like the Cubs tonight, it's only one way to play it. Team total over 4.5. They got to get to 5 or better, and you can get them at plus 115. So you're taking a minus 120, and you're saying, hey, I'm not laying that juice, Jeff. Well, get them to 5 or better. Not only do you cash that ticket, it doesn't matter who wins the game, and you're getting plus 115 at the window.
Right, and it's another case where you gotta, if you do like something, you gotta figure out exactly what it is that you do like. If you like one of these offenses to blow up, then go with the team total, because the pitcher for that team could have an ugly an 8 spot in the second inning or something like that for either of these two pitchers here. So, or vice versa. If you love, I don't know anyone that does tonight, but if you love one of these pitchers necessarily, then. Then you're probably taking that team, whether it be first 5 or I would say first 5, because I agree with you. Miami is another shaky back end there. So, but Miami is another team where you're taking their team total and you're like, am I really taking Miami's team total? This Miami Marlins team here. So, that one was one that piqued my interest there. The other one, where's this other one? Milwaukee is in Oakland. 73-54 Milwaukee, 55-73 Oakland. And we've got opened around minus 135, now down to minus 115. The Brewers still the favorite, but only minus 115. Aaron Civale on the mound for the Brewers. I believe he was pretty good last time out. 4 hits, no earned runs. And J.P. Sears on the mound for the A's has been really, really good these last 4 times out. 3 of the last 4, 1 earned run or less, going 7 innings strong in all of those last 4 starts. Are we? Is this just a lot of respect for J.P. Sears here, or am I right to be concerned about the Brewers traveling out to Oakland tonight, my friend?
Brewers got us good the other day. They just played a 3-game series with the Cards. We had their team total in one game. We went back on the afternoon game, got shut out 3-0. Now they travel to Oakland, who, after the All-Star break, had the best record in the American League. A pesky team where if your pitching isn't on, they're going to hit some bombs against you. The downside for Milwaukee also is Civale starting, former Tampa Bay Rays, so it's not like Oakland hasn't seen him either. Which Milwaukee team's going to show up? I'm petrified of this game. I had an overnight number of minus 130, now minus 108 at the Circa. Good afternoon to Mr. Benson, to Mr. Stevens. Shout out again to Matt Grissom, who is live on Radio Row there at the Circa. I am jealous as hell there. Both team totals 3 and a hook. Oakland, if you like Oakland to get to 4 or better, you can get that team total over 3.5 at plus 100. If you like Milwaukee to get over 3.5, you got to lay 35 cents. So this is different than the game we just broke down. Okay, you're laying more money on Milwaukee to get to 4, minus 35 cents. But it doesn't matter who wins the game. Get to 4 and change the score. Go to another game. If you like them to bounce back and win, you only have to lay 8 cents. So again, if you want Milwaukee, you like them to bounce back, you only have to lay 8 cents in the full game. Now, 2 games ago, had a 6-4 lead, bottom of the ninth. Devin Williams comes in and blows it 6-6, and then in the 10th, Arenado, a walk-off grand slam. So the back end a little shaky. They didn't score yesterday as well. Now they travel from St. Louis, a little salty, down to Oakland. So which Brewer team shows up? So tough game there, Riley.
Right. Any sense that they're kind of, I mean, their lead's ballooned up to 10 games now. Are they... I mean, I guess they can get the home field advantage. I mean, if they go on a run, they could still get the 1 seed, so it's not crazy there. Are they on kind of cruise control until the playoffs, or are they hell-bent on getting either the 1 or 2 seed there?
They don't have the offense. They lose Yelich for the rest of the year. I don't know how they're doing it. They're doing it with smoke and mirrors. We gave out, the whole world was on the under, their team, their win total. And we snuck in the back door right before first pitch and grabbed their over. So kind of very fortunate and lucky. We connected with a few wise guys, should we say, in Vegas, and says, here's your Christmas gift from us. And I hated it. And I'm like, all right, and set it and forget it. And sure enough, here we are. So it's a team that everyone will be fading whoever they play in the playoffs. I don't care who they're playing. I'm going against them. I just have no faith in them at all, Riley.
Right. It's a tough situation for credit to them the last few years, especially manager change now, and they've still managed to grab a hold of this division pretty consistently here. So credit to them and their organization. It's one of those ones where it drives me nuts for a larger market team, to where a team can be so organizationally sound and just keep pumping out random guys that come in and do the job. So it does irk me a little bit. I've got a soft spot. I root for them in the National League there, but it irks me a little bit that the White Sox can't figure something like that out with some of the resources that they have. But I digress. Giants and Mariners, I believe, correct me if I was a little busy last evening. Did the managerial change happen before last night's game for Seattle, or was that after last night's game?
No, it was before.
Right. So we got day number 2 here now without Scott Survey, and you've got Martinez in the interim there. 64-64 Mariners. It would take a close to a miracle for them to get back in the picture now. They're I think 7.5 games out of the wild card, something like that. Giants a little bit closer, but still still got a lot of work to do in their National League side, 65-64. But anyways, you've got Luis Castillo on the mound for this Mariners team. Has not been quite as good as we've seen in the past. I'm sure going forward we can expect him to get back to that. But last time out, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, couple of bombs allowed. Mariners minus 145 at home. Anything to make of this team heading back home? They were on the road for the Dodgers last night in this week here. Now home without their manager. Any feeling that they're going to break out and go on a little run without their manager, or is this them looking to beach houses in October?
Unless they're adding Ken Griffey Jr., A-Rod, Jay Buhner. I mean, their front-end pitching has been electric.
Yeah.
It has. They just have no offense. And they tried. They add Randy Rosarina. They add Justin Turner. They tried to add a couple bats. It was a little too late. You can't steal first, as I'd like to say. I needed to add Ichiro, of course. But the fact of the matter is it's too late. So I guess their only thought was, we know it's too late. If we fire the manager, sometimes you get one of those 9-1 runs. You wake him up. Seattle at home's almost like the Padres at home. It's an auto fade, an auto play to the under. Overnight was a 7.5. Now it's a 7. You don't know what you're going to get from either offenses. I can tell you, every time I bet on Birdsong, that's what it is. I'm tweet, throwing money away because that guy can't get out of the third or fourth. Go against my Giants, and he's Birdsong. So I don't know what to expect here. If you like Seattle, the only way I could play it is first 5 minus the hook. Hope you get Castillo, a good Castillo for 5 innings. Hope you get 1 or 2 runs. Let's say a Cal Riley homer. What is Cal Riley tonight? He's overdue, by the way.
You're right. Let me pull that up here. Cal Raleigh is 350 plus 350.
He's usually a go number in the 275, 285, maybe 305. So we'll say Cal Riley plus 350 for all the Mariner backers for the first 5 minus the hook. How's that?
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Let's see, what else do we got here? Big series for the wild card, at least as we're looking at it right now. Mets in San Diego. They did play yesterday. Mets get the win. Paul Blackburn, Joe Musgrove. Musgrove start number 3 after his IL stint, long IL stint. No June, no July starts. He is back. Start number 3 has been good in these 2 starts. However, hasn't made it through the 5th inning. 4 1/3, 63 and 73 pitches. So still easing him back into the rotation. Obviously, if they can get into the playoffs and have him healthy and ready to go, then that is obviously a huge boost for them. Minus 145 here at home. Is that a fair line with the way these two teams are playing, or would you have respected a bigger minus 160 or beyond if you were really respecting the Padres there?
I thought the Mets were a good play last night on the desk, of course. I had an overnight number of minus 125. I thought there was only way that number could go, and it is right now at the circa minus 137. You can get the Mets at plus 125. 8 under minus 20 cents. First 1 to 4 wins this. I'll just say it this way. If you like the Mets tonight, lay the 20 cents, take their team total over 3.5. If you like the Padres tonight, I'd go the other way. First 5 minus the hook. An 8 in San Diego usually means there might be a few runs scored. It probably the winner of this game, the final score is 5-3. To be honest with you, the Padres team total is 3.5. It's juice minus 145. So they're telling you we think the Padres are going to get to 4 or better today. I'm not going to lay the 45 cents though. What I do like is this: is you can get plus money, and it's sneaky. First of all, the home team's not guaranteed the 9th inning unless you're tired or losing. So lots of times you can go in and get the first 5 under over at 2.5, and you're getting good plus money, plus 120, plus 125. You know, you can get a Manny homer, you can get a Bogarts homer. So if you like the Padres tonight and you want to get sneaky, here's what I'm going to say: take their team total over, and actually let me go one step further for everyone here. I'll give you the exact number. Padres team total over 2.5 plus 120. There you go. There's the play right there.
Fair enough, my friend. I was looking for
First
some home
5.
runs. Yeah, first 5. Right. Very important. First 5. I was looking at some numbers. There's Pete Alonso homer 475, Manny Machado homer 5-1. So not really giving any go numbers out of this game for any home runs either. So at least out of the big boys, I should say there. So. Any other games to talk about, my friend? I think there was one more before I kick it over to you. Where'd we go here? Rangers and Guardians. We've obviously talked about this Rangers team looking way ahead. Guardians minus 145 at home here. You do have Eovaldi on the mound. Guardians have not been playing great this last week or so here. Anything to make out of that line? Is that respect to Eovaldi, why we're looking at a kind of a close line for the Guardians at home here tonight against this Rangers team?
Yeah, it's almost like a bounce back game for the Guardians in my eyes. I had a 140, now down to 135. That's the only way this number could go, especially with the Rangers offensively, or the potential, I should say, and Eovaldi. Bibby has been hit or miss. He's like that box of chocolates. If you like the Guardians today, I would take them minus the hook first 5. Hopefully you get a crooked number, a J-Ram homer, and just get through 5 there. Other than that, I don't see a lot of value. They're betting the under here, so they're expecting 2 good starts here from Eovaldi and Bibby, and then take it to the back end, the Bridgies and so forth. So Vegas is telling me it's an underplay. If you like the Guardians, first 5 minus the hook and even or plus money. Team totals right now, Texas to get to 4 or better, they'll give you plus 115 at the window. For the Guardians to get to 4 or better will cost you minus 110 either which way.
There you go, my friend. Any other games to lay down before we get on out of here?
Yeah, Scotty's on deck in 12 minutes. I'll go over two quick ones. Philly and Kansas City are kind of an eye-opener. Taiwan Walker versus Michael Waka. Overnight number -140. There's only one way that can go. They're running to the window to bet the Phillies. Down to 135. You can get the Phillies plus 124. It's a trap. It's a trap right now in my eyes. So if you like the Phillies here, here's how much of a trap. See, it was a trap. Now they moved it. Phillies team total 4.5 under -130. So you can get the Phillies to get to 5 or better, and you can get the Phillies at plus 110. Kansas City's team total is 3.5 juiced over. They said, not so fast, Jeff. You've been talking about it all day here. Now it's 4.5 juiced over -25 cents. It's an under-over of a flat 9. First 1 to 5 wins this game. I got Kansas City winning the game. But if you like the Phillies tonight, take their team total over the 4.5, and you can get that at plus 110 at the window. Arizona is traveling to Boston. Arizona is hot as a firecracker, like the Padres. Nelson versus Bayo. If you've been following the Red Sox are 8-1 his last 9 starts, and they score a boatload of runs for him. Currently opened at 130. Now the Red Sox are only -119. So what's that telling you? Money's coming in on the D-backs here. First 1 to 5 or better wins this game. You can now go to the window and get Arizona team total over 4.5 at even money plus 100. If you like the Red Sox to get to 5 or better, over 4.5 is -25 cents. So tell yourself this. If you like the Red Sox side, do you want to sweat if they win the game or they get to 5 or better? Because someone's going to have to get to 5 or better in this game. So you can get the Red Sox to get to 5 or better at -25 cents, and it doesn't matter who wins the game. Or you can lay the -119. So I think both teams get to 5 today, Riley. And last but not least, St. Louis travels to Minnesota. Minnesota Festa versus Palente, -145. I'm not playing that game. I like Minnesota to get to 5 or better today. And instead of laying 145, I'm getting plus 105 at the window, sir.
There you go. There's a lot of again. There's a few of these National League teams that are 5 out or so that, if they keep playing the way they're playing, then obviously they've got no chance. But if they break out of something here and get hot, then they've got a chance. St. Louis being one of them. But that Twins team, 2 games out of the division race, along with Kansas City. So some interesting series here where you maybe not obviously that Mets and Padres one, maybe the biggest one between 2 teams competing with each other, but. A few series here where you've got some teams in opposite races here that aren't necessarily big series against each other, racing against each other necessarily, but in their own respective races there where you've got obviously that leads on for a lot of dud games like the White Sox and Tigers and Reds and Pirates and whatnot. But I digress. I don't have much for closing thoughts, my friend. Was looking at some home run props. It's been a long time since I've gone to my neck of the woods, but as far as interesting numbers go, Luis Robert plus 290 to hit a bomb on the south side of Chicago tonight, my man. Hasn't had any home runs in the last week, but has had, I think, 3 multi-hit games in the last week or so. So he's hitting the ball well, swinging for the fences. And so, we'll go with a Luis Robert home run, plus 290, my friend.
That's a go number for sure. And I'll close out. Let me see where I can close out here. Let's go to Fenway Park. Let's go. We're going to go 2 homers. I'll go with the chalk first. What's Devers?
285 plus 285.
That's a go.
Not bad.
That's a
Not
go
bad
number. I'm going to dig deep here. Arizona, Jake McCarthy.
Jake McCarthy plus 1,400, 14 to 1.
Oh, hey, listen, if Jake McCarthy hits a homer tonight, I'll start a GoFundMe. How's that?
You're the one funding it if you got the plus 1,400 there, my friend. What are we talking about here?
Devers at plus 280 or 85, and Jake McCarthy. I'm hitting that Twitter siren if Jake McCarthy hits one to Lansdowne Street tonight.
He's got a couple home runs this last week, so who knows? He could be hitting it over the monster tonight.
Plus 1,400. Scotty Webb coming up in 7 minutes in the batter's mark. It's been an amazing week here. Next week, Monday, set the calendar. 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Cornflakes and Crack with Billy Krakenberg. The Big Bill is going to be our Monday morning guest, talking weekend recap, talking what's up on Monday Night Football, talk about what he has coming up for the week, and he might even talk about where to get the best slice of pizza, maybe where's the best place on the Vegas Strip to play some slot machines. Billy knows all. If you haven't followed him, go at Crack Wins and Billy Krakenberg on VSiN, on Fox Sports, on Fox Sports Radio. He will be our Monday morning guest. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day, a great weekend. Remember this, guys. September 1st is next Sunday. So it's football season. Pump the brakes, breathe. We want to make it through the first month. We want to make it to Halloween. We want to make it to the Thanksgiving game. Most importantly, we want to make it to January 1st, 2025. So have some fun, breathe, enjoy the last full week and a half of August. We'll take you through the fall. Enjoy yourself. Don't be the pizza man, and we will see you soon.